Since then, for thousands of years, a central city existed here continually, experiencing all types of historic reversals. The city of Megiddo was destroyed 25 times by waves of conquerors, which surged over it and rebuilt it 25 times. The city's remains are found on the site's 25 levels, an eternal memorial to humanity's will to exist and an everlasting witness to the war and destruction accompanying human history. Perhaps that is the reason why Megiddo was chosen to serve as an eternal symbol of hope for the future. According to Christian tradition, right here, the most important battle for man will take place in the last of days, the final battle. In the New Testament, the Apostle John predicts that at Megiddo, or as it is also known, Armageddon, the final battle to end all destruction and persecution will take place. The cruel wars which took place here during the thousands of years resulted from Megiddo's unique strategic location. It controls the most important part of the road running along the coast called Via Maris by the Romans, leading from Egypt in the south to Mesopotamia in the north. Whoever controlled the city controlled this central artery. Canaanite, Egyptian, Assyrian, Babylonian, Persian, and of course the kings of Israel led by Solomon and Ahab all fought over it and over the city, and they all left memorials to their power and glory in Megiddo. The city of Megiddo knew not only wars but cultural and spiritual development and the eternal longing of man for God. A prayer structure was discovered in the city from the Canaanite period, dating back to the year 5000 BCE. The people of the city prayed continually for thousands of years in the very same spot. 17 holy structures were built one on top of the other during various periods. The most impressive is a large round altar built of unhewn stone dated 2700 BCE. The city's name, Megiddo, appears in early written material from the 15th century BCE in documents of the Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose III, describing his military campaigns and conquests in the land of Israel. In a letter found at Tel El Amarna, dated in the 14th century BCE, the governor of Megiddo, Biridia, writes to his Egyptian king, "I have heard the words of my king, my lord, my son, and I shall defend Megiddo, city of kings, day and night." A beautiful treasure of ivory pieces was found in one of the rooms in Biridia's palace, not far from the gate of the walled city. The Israelites reached Canaan after 40 years of wandering in the desert. After a quick conquest, Megiddo fell and became a part of the lands of the tribe of Manasseh. King David conquered the city at its 16th level, which had been built on the ruins of 15 previous layers. The city reached the height of its glory in the period of the Israelite kings Solomon and Ahab. This was the best fortified of all cities built by King Ahab, and he chose it to be one of the 3 seats of government in his kingdom. He continued to develop and build the city. Proof of this remains to this day. The great city gates, the most beautiful ever discovered. 2 stables, for 450 of his horses. Two palaces, in one of which lived the governor appointed by the king. The public granary, from which food for all the citizens was distributed. There were two sets of stairs, one for going up and one for going down. The arched roof that protected the grains from sun and rain caved in during the course of the years. The most impressive discovery, its sophistication and construction technique astounding to this day, is the waterworks built for the city by King Ahab. The city had a real problem. Its great walls protected it during siege, but its water sources were in a cave at the foot of the hill outside the walls. How would they get drinking water while the enemy besieged the city? The solution was obtained by means of complicated but effective technology. Inside the city, a shaft was dug. From its bottom, a horizontal tunnel 30 meters long was excavated in the direction of the spring and at the same height. From now on, the citizens of the city could utilize the water that flowed outside the city without leaving the safety of the walls. In order to conceal and to protect the water from enemies, the external entrance to the cave was blocked up and the wall camouflaged with rock and sand. Many kingdoms came and went in Megiddo. The kingdom of Israel was conquered by Assyria, and after them came the Persians. In the 4th century BCE, Megiddo was abandoned and never resettled. All that is left are the remains of 4,000 years of human settlement and the apocalyptic prophecies, mainly Christian, which have memorialized its name in human culture as the arena of the great battle in the last of days. That is why the historic meeting between the President of Israel and Pope Paul VI took place in 1964 here at Megiddo, known as Armageddon. For 2,000 years, not only Megiddo lay in ruins, but also the entire area. 2 more battles took place here in this century. The British General Allenby routed the Turkish army at the end of World War I. The British reinforced their rule in the country, and General Allenby was named Lord of Armageddon. 100 years ago, the valley surrounding the city, called the Jezreel Valley, was brought back to life when Jewish pioneers returned to revive the land. They built cities and kibbutzim round the remains of the past. During Israel's War of Independence in 1948, more battles took place here which ended with the defeat of the Arab forces. At the end of the war, a kibbutz settled at the edge of the Tell, which took the historic name of the city, Megiddo. Its founders were survivors of the Holocaust who had come to find a new future alongside the historic remains. In the vicinity of the Tell, there are other interesting sites to visit, all under the auspices of the National Parks Authority, which is also responsible for Tel Megiddo. Beit Sha'arim and its archaeological discoveries, the synagogue found at Beit Alpha with its unique mosaic floor, the antiquities at Beit Sha'an now being excavated, Ma'ayan Farod, and Gan HaShlosha. Parks authorities wishes you a pleasant tour.